Right, now hopefully we are online and we're streaming. My only concern this morning, well, before I say, I'd like to, as always, welcome you all to the Love Spoon workshop. Yeah, my concern this morning is I've managed to get online relatively quickly and relatively easily, which doesn't normally happen. So I'm just checking everything. It's saying that we are online, but as I say, I'm a bit concerned because that was a bit too easy to get organised this morning, so we probably haven't got any sound. Right, the focus of today is designing. I've got a list of designs. Where have I put my list? Here it is. And I'm just going to go through some of the process, some of the ideas that we go through when we're designing something. So the equipment that we've got, just take that one from there. Scissors, pencil, rubber, sharpener, ruler, completely went out of my head. Fancy forgetting the name of a ruler, but there we are. You've got your ruler, and then you've got some paper. So those are the things then that we're looking at. And to go through the process of how we actually design, what I do is I prepare a piece of paper like this, and we fold it, we draw a line starting off, so that's why our ruler. Why do we do that? It's basically so we've got symmetry in our design. To give you the background on that, Dad, he was originally a carpenter and joiner, so for him, symmetry in the design is an important thing. He likes his designs to be symmetrical, so that is an important thing. So yeah, that's why we tend to do that. Other parts of the process then, you can get designs from all sorts of different sources. We've got some templates, so these are some of our templates. So I'm going to use some of the symbols from that. And the nice thing with the Love Spoon, as we always say, there are two things to it. There are no rules or regs, so you can do all sorts of different things. But equally, there are no, there's no sort of right or wrong, and you can tell your story through the Love Spoon. Now, our YouTube channel, as we gather, that's the idea of it, is to try and help. It's to help you all out. That's what we basically are looking to do, and that's the idea of this video then, again, is to show you some ideas and some thoughts that might help you out, and it's to show you that Love Spoons, they got messages, they got stories, all sorts of different things. Now the other part of equipment that we've got here is a light box, so that's why you can see that shining through. Why, you may be thinking, why do we use a light box? Well, basically, if we're tracing round something, we can use that light box to project an image, there you go, through like so. As you can see, our light box is, excuse me, is a bit sort of improvised. Why, you may be thinking, why have we done it like that? Well, basically, we bought a light box and it broke. They just break too easily. So we made our own. So yeah, let's get straight in and show you the process of how we actually design. So we'll start off, give you the background with this particular design. The idea here, the request is a fusion. I like a fusion. We like fusions. It's Maori design, okay, but also Celtic design. And we think, yeah, brilliant, that's right up our street, is to fuse together cultures, to fuse together ideas. Now this symbol, thankfully, I've just noticed it's written here, Pikarua. I'll apologise now, I probably just offended a whole culture, to be honest with you. Apologies to anyone of Maori heritage, because a Welshman's pronunciation of that is probably absolutely shocking. But It's a beautiful symbol, and I've been really impressed. This is a request that came in to fuse together Maori and Celtic symbols. I've been really struck with the Maori symbols. Beautiful stuff, really nice. Anybody who's not familiar with that, check it out, because the Maoris have got some beautiful ideas, some beautiful designs. Really, yeah, really does sort of leave an impression. So what I'm doing then, I'm actually using that symbol. That's going to go at the top of my design. So all the time that you're designing, you're thinking, where should I position things? Where should, what looks right? What's going to look nice? So you're thinking through, you want to tell a story. Now this is to do with binding and, growing together, family and things like that. Please, if there's anyone Maori culture heritage, please correct me if I'm saying anything wrong, but I had a little look, and that's the sort of meaning behind this symbol. Now on the drawing that I've chosen there, it's not quite symmetrical. Now that may be sort of important, significant, but I do like symmetry, and it's similar to the sort of Celtic twist that we do anyway. So I'm going to make it symmetrical because I prefer that in my designs. So what we're going to do to make it symmetrical, because we folded that page over, we're going to trace on the other side now, so we will have a symmetrical image. And I wanted to give this, because we're used to doing Celtic design, and this is very similar to a Celtic twist. So whether there's any links, goodness knows, but they're both very, very similar, and it's like the twist that we do. You'll see if you have a look at our designs in our online shop, things like that, you'll see that we use like the Celtic twist. We use that a lot. So there we are. We've got that outline symmetrical. The inside bits, I'm just going to do those by hand. So they will be as symmetrical as I can sort of make them by hand. So this is going to be then the first symbol. Let's have a look. That needs to come out a little bit further. This is the thing, we're doing a live stream, but we've got to concentrate on what we're doing as well. So we know that twists around like that. There we are. And then this one is going to be twisted round just like that. And what we're basically doing here, I've had a number of requests come in. I think we're pretty much on our limit for a while in terms of bespoke spoons. So anyone thinking of requesting a bespoke spoon, it's going to be sort of December before we've caught up again. So there we are. We've got that design out, and I'm thinking this is going to be towards the top of our love spoon. So the other parts to this design, we want like a heart. We want a heart just below there. So how are we going to include that heart? Well, you can see we've done a bit of a blue Peter, and we pre-prepared a heart that hopefully will fit. So I'll just find my scissors, and this is something that we're going to do then. What we're always trying to do with our love spoon designs, we are trying to tell a story through our love spoon. We're trying to just put across a little bit of a message, but we're always looking at the design. I'll just come down there so you can see what I'm doing. The design always has to work. So there's no point in having, a design that doesn't work. If you have problems, if you create problems in your design at this stage, you're going to be dealing with those problems right the way through the process. Here we are. Thomas the Woodcarver's just walked in. Good morning, Thomas the Woodcarver.
Bore da.
Bore da. So yeah, we've got that symbol at the top, and what usually happens as well is you've walked in just at a good time, because what normally happens is with the design is if I'm designing something, I usually design it, and you usually go, yeah, I don't like that, and I don't like that, which you'd think actually.
Yeah, but it's one we prepared earlier, Dave.
No, I've explained that. I've explained that we've agreed on what we're doing here with this one already. But yeah, what normally happens is that he normally goes, no, I'm not happy. I don't like that bit, and I don't like that bit. And on face value, that may seem annoying. And to be honest with you, in the moment, quite often it is quite annoying. But my own view on that really is that it's a really good thing because it actually makes you a better designer and it makes you all round a better wood carver. So we've got that symbol at the top and then we've got that heart below. Other things we're thinking of when we are designing, we've got to be thinking of having strength in the design. So that's something that we're also looking at. So we want to tell the story. We want it to be practical. We don't want to have issues in it when we sort of proceed with making our spoon. Now the other symbols then we said that we were including in this particular design are Celtic. So we're going to have our eternity sign. And again, this design then, once it's finished, I will email this then to the person who's made the request. And you just don't know what the response will be. They may turn around and say, no, I don't like that. Can you do this, 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 and this? And that's basically, you know, our job then is to do something that they are happy with.
Straight away,
I can feel Thomas Woodcarver's coming in itching to say something.
Because I can see a problem straight away.
There we are. He can see a problem. That's normal. We're used to that.
Yeah, because at the moment, there's obviously, you can see it yourself.
Yes, but we're working on the design.
Yeah.
We're working on the design, so this wouldn't work as it's just drawn now. But this is where we're sort of halfway through. What I'm doing initially, I'm getting all those symbols in there, and then afterwards, then we're gonna do something else, which will make this design practical in terms of being made. So the reason I've only done half of the eternity sign again is so we've got that strength. So we got that symmetry. So we're going to make that. We were going to make that symmetry. Now the problem that Dad is referring to, and probably most of you can actually see. I'm having a little bit of trouble here actually. There it is. We're just finding our lines. There we go. Found the line there. And this one, maybe I'll just turn it around and draw it by hand. So we've got our symmetry in our design now, and we've got the symbols. We've got all the symbols included. Now, normally we're doing this, the eternity sign, normally we do it around this way. So I will put the lines, I'll just turn it round so you can all see. And I'm going to ask Dan to do me a favour as well. Keep an eye on there so we can definitely know that everybody can see what I'm doing. Right, so that straight away, those are our symbols.
What you've done as well,
yeah.
Just to explain, you've done 1 over, 1 under, 1 over, 1
yes.
under.
Yeah,
right?
So when we carve it, you'll get that eternal, that's the idea, Celtic eternity sign, so you'll get that eternal nature with it where it goes over, under,
If you
and
just
it's
guide
continuous.
with a pencil, then you can explain.
There we are. So basically, that design, it goes over there, and then it goes under here, and then it goes back over here, and then under there. Okay, so those are our symbols. Now, if you were going to try and make a love spoon from here, you would basically, you would have a problem because, you know, we've got weakness. That would be okay. You get away with that because you've got strength of those joining. But here, because it's down to the point, you'd have a weakness. Now, my intention with this design then, all along, was to come around. Is this the problem you were referring to? I hope this is the problem you were referring to.
It is the problem.
Yeah.
But there's another one as well, so carry on.
So my intention with this design, and when you're designing stuff, don't forget, as you're going along, you can tweak it. You can tweak it as you go along.
Because this is the important stage, isn't it?
Yes, it's basically all of the, you know, the more you can eliminate issues and problems in your design early, the less you're sort of, the less problems you're going to have later on, because it's all well and good. You know, you see love spoons that have, well, we see love spoons that have got sort of weaknesses in the design and things like that.
Love spoons often are quite delicate by nature anyway. So we've got somebody that's asking us to try and repair a...
Yeah, we got somebody
I
asking
think,
for a love spoon repair.
there's no...
What I can actually do, sorry, going back to this design, I just to give it a little bit of extra strength, because we've got to remember, when we go to make this, we're going to be squeezing the wood. The wood is going to get squeezed in the vise. And I'd be interested as well, what happens if we just... So basically, you can see, as we're going along, we sort of tweak little bits. Yeah, so we're going to bring that around, and it allows us to just change that shape at the top as well. But again, this is a live demonstration, and that's the idea of it. This is live. I may actually, the love spoons that you see me designing in this demonstration, afterwards I may actually decide that I want to change things on all of them. But that's just part of the process.
This as well, Dave, is a really good opportunity. If there's anybody out there, teachers...
Do you want to get the microphones there? You're speaking to...
anybody teaching... I mean, I used to do... My subject was woodwork then in school. I don't think they do that now. It's design technology, and they keep changing all these things. But the subject, for designing a love spoon, I think is quite a good thing, really, because you're thinking about the material that you're going to be using, and different age groups that you can actually cut out your shape, and then you hang that on the wall. You can colour it, so you don't necessarily need to make it in wood. You can just design this shape and transfer it to a piece of cardboard or something like that. So you know what I mean? It's an ideal project, I think. Especially I know it's a bit early yet, but St. David's Day, for instance, you can plan it for St. David's Day, and it's an ideal. It's
a good way of sort of celebrating.
Yeah.
Now, okay, as I'm looking now towards the finish of our love spoon. So what I'm sort of thinking, we're thinking of strength. So the reason that I put this piece around here is because I got plenty of wood there. Because if you make it too delicate, again, it's too vulnerable to breaking.
You're always looking for the
you're
weakest link.
You're looking for the strength in it. Yeah, that's right. And on that subject, that's what we've actually got to repair. It's a love spoon that has
and the other thing
got a broken link.
We have to consider is the budget of the person who's requested the spoon.
Yeah, and now this one, for instance, is actually ending up. This love spoon, I may go back and make some things, especially this symbol at the top. I may make that smaller. I may even choose with this to actually make it part of the surround. I may actually make it larger and come out here and make that part of the surround. So, but we can, those are things that we can look at. This is just an initial drawing that we're working on. So I'm looking now for our bowl.
Can I ask what is the budget?
We won't reveal it on the.
Okay.
We won't reveal it on the live stream. I'll just do it.
Oh, okay.
Like that off camera. There we are. Okay, so that's.
And that didn't make any blinking sense at all. There we are.
There we are. We were trying to mime it, and we would sort of play and give us a clue so Thomas Woodcarver can see. So what we've got now, we have a basic outline, and we're just going to finish off this little. There's a little twist we're going to put here as well, and then to sort of finish it, to complete the love spoon, all you do, use that light box, and as Dad is here, I'm going to ask him, after I finish drawing this, I'm going to ask him to do a job. If you could cut it out, not what you're doing, the actual design, that is.
He's always telling me to cut it out.
If you can cut it out, please. If you can cut the design out, and we're keeping an eye on there that everyone can still see what we're actually doing. There we are. So I'm going to draw these sort of finishing bits on, and then I'll get Dad to cut the design out, and then you'll see then we have a sort of finished design, but that's a first draft. You were referring to another issue. What would that be then?
It was the bottom part, but you've solved that now by strengthening the eternity sign.
Yeah.
So that's.
So we've tried to eliminate the problems as we're going along. If you can basically, as we're saying, if you can get your designing right, you're going to save yourself a lot of headaches later on, because it is a practical process making love spoons, and if you design them with issues, you're going to be dealing with those issues all the way through.
It's also very interesting, you know, we've been making spoons here since.
I think actually, as you're talking, I'll cut it out. I'll cut it out myself.
Can I just have a look before you do?
Yeah, no problem.
Let's just have a look. Yeah.
Let's have a little look. So one thing we've got to do, we've got to finish this bit off, just like so, and then we've got that twist. There we are. We've got that twist coming in over there. One thing, possibly a slightly larger bowl. Just basically because you're looking for balance top and bottom. You're looking for symmetry top to bottom as well. So yeah, Dad's just coming around.
Grabbing a pencil.
He's grabbing a pencil. He's going to start making alterations. I'll tell you what I'll do then. If I hand that over to you.
I'm still concerned about this budget, Dave. If I write that figure down, am I about?
You're around about, yeah.
Yeah,
the right sort of ballpark. Yes,
right.
yeah. So, yeah, I think actually I'll cut that one out for everyone to see. So there we are. Well, we've got a few. What we got? Yellie's sent a new things. Doesn't make spoons for me. She's just explaining, yeah, that I don't make any spoons for her. That's not true, Yellie. We just made about half a dozen spoons for you. So yeah, but nice to hear from you. Thanks for that, Yellie.
I got to sing to Yolly now.
We've got to sing a song so Yellie can hear.
There is a rose in Spanish Harlem.
That's it. People are now logging off at a rate of knots.
A red rose up in Spanish Harlem. What do you think, Yolly?
Here we are. And anybody else as well. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on the design? So yeah, you can see what we're doing now. We're cutting that design out. And this one then, we're sort of there or thereabouts. And again, we may sort of decide to do some tweaking to the design itself.
I'm feeling quite pessimistic about this one, because the area that you're cutting now, that is a critical point.
Yeah.
And when you show this on camera, you will see that is definitely, I am not sure about the strength in that particular piece.
Yeah, I'm not so pessimistic. I'm quite happy with that. There's plenty of strength there, and that's the focal point of the spoon. And it's I'm gonna actually argue with you that we've made spoons similar.
At the end of the day, very similar. It's the customer at the end of the day chooses whether they're happy with the design.
Yeah, I think we gotta. I think I gotta pull you up on it, because. We wouldn't design a love spoon with an issue in it, and we've designed a lot of love spoons like that before, and they're all strong.
For everybody, I'll just point out that you could see that's quite a narrow area, because that's going to come away, that will come away.
Yeah, but we got to look. We've still got a lot of wood here, and we've still got a lot of wood here. And what we will do when we cut it out, we may add a bit extra. So. There is still comfortably a lot of wood in that design, so we'll have to agree to disagree on that one. There we are. So that's our first design, just like so. Right, now the next one. Can
I just put that in place, Steve? Just there.
Yeah, but that's a different story altogether. That's a different story altogether. Yeah. Yeah. we basically, this one here, the issue, this one actually broke and we had to redesign it. And this actually highlights the point, see, because we've got as much wood on there. There's a huge difference between these two spoons in that this love spoon is much, much bigger. This one broke because we went too fine on there, so we had to start that one all over again. There's actually a video dedicated to that love spoon and explaining what went wrong. So that is the idea with this one. We've got a lot more wood, and the spoon itself is a lot smaller.
You want it to look delicate, but you don't want it to be delicate. You know what I mean? It's a balance.
Absolutely. Right, this one that we're going on to here. Okay, so this is an interesting story. I was actually speaking this morning, emailing the person this morning with this one. I just refocused the camera, if anyone noticed that one there. Yeah, basically, a bit of a misunderstanding, because what I thought they were looking for was a love spoon including all of the symbols. In reality, what they wanted is actually 3 love spoons to have sort of 3 different themes. So, no problem, we can work around that. We're used to sort of adapting and evolving as we go. So the first one then that we're going to work on is a travel-based, travel-themed love spoon. So what we're going to include on that, the idea that we've got is for a globe. So you've got the globe here. We're going to use that light box again. So we get the image of the world. So you can see us just going around just like so. And the idea then, we're going to include in this design a heart and a twist. So those are the 3 elements to the design. So,
and straight away I'm thinking, as you're drawing now the map of the world,
yeah.
Where exactly is this person from? What area?
I think they're from the UK, okay. And they've done travelling and things like that. Okay. So yeah, the idea is you know it's got to be sort of realistic. Again, it's got to be realistic within the budget they've got, and it's got to be realistic in terms of carving. So it's an impression. It's an impression of the world. That's what you're trying to create. Yeah. So we sort of recognise, you know, we're not. I know, for instance, we've got a few Caribbean islands missing. So, you know, that's what you're trying to do. It's a love spoon. The key part to it really is to tell that story. What is the story of the love spoon? What is the message? What are they trying to portray? Because, for instance, you know, we've got North America, we've got South America, we've got Africa, and we've got Europe. So we're not sort of having all of the world.
That's why I asked, because sometimes, you know, it may be a particular place that they want marked on their spoon.
So there we are.
And it's nice that, you know, it's nice for us because we get all sorts of requests.
Okay, so I've got to have my heart again. So yeah, I'm thinking a heart just below there. Just below the globe, just like so. And those are sort of 2 of the key elements to this design. And what we do, we'll sort of send this design, and then that then gives the recipient the opportunity for any feedback, any thoughts, any adaptations. And this process, quite often, it can be an ongoing process where you do a first design, and then you know, as it goes on, you may end up doing a few designs. You may end up designing and redesigning, say 3 or 4 times. Right. What I'm sort of thinking, I'm thinking for the surround on this one. That what I've sort of got in my head is I don't want this design to be too. What's the word? They're 2 sort of quite round symbols that we're focusing on, so I don't want it to be too dumpy, too
cumbersome.
Yeah, so what I'm going to actually do, when I come around the globe, is instead of sort of working straight to it, I'm just going to give us a little bit of a gap that we're just going to give across the top there. So that's how I'm going to go there, and then I'm going to come in and out.
Which makes it more awkward for the person that has to cut the detail on the scroll saw. And who's the person that's going to have to cut it on the scroll saw?
I'm intrigued now. How's that making it more difficult for you?
Because it's quite narrow there.
Here we are. I'll bring it up like that for you.
No, that's
there you
fine.
go.
No, you don't want to spoil it for...
There we are.
If it's got to be...
We'll change the design for Thomas the Woodcarver. There we are. Because this is the thing, you've got to make it. So I've just brought that up a little bit.
He is so considerate.
There we are. So you've got plenty of room to get a drill cut. We can get plenty of room to get that drill cut just in there like so. Yeah, and then I'm going to turn that round, and so we will have on the opposite side, we'll have the same. So we've got our symmetry in our design again. There we are, just like so. And then after that, I'm thinking that we have, we'll sort of have a twist in and around the whole design. Right, so let's have a little look. So at the top, okay, we know, again, we're going to sort of come in, and this, what happens as well with ourselves with designs, we sort of evolve as well with our designs. So I'm designing in styles, and our own style, it sort of changes as we go along. We don't sort of stick to one style. We sort of evolve, with our designing. So that is going to come in there. But I've got an idea. I've got an idea that I want a twist.
It may also develop as a stock.
Yeah, you may notice something and think, oh, that's going to be useful. We're working on one at the moment. It's going in our online shop, so we know there's eyes and ears, so we're going to keep that one secret until we've got it published. So yeah, that's we're one that we're quite excited with, because it's a particular design that we've been trying to develop for a long time, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
20, 30 years, really.
I think perhaps we're thinking of two different ones.
Yeah, no, the one I'm thinking of, I'm going to be speaking in code to Thomas the Woodcarver again. The one I'm thinking of is, we just did a bespoke spoon, and we've just done a design. Yes, Thomas the Woodcarver's just shown me. So yeah, we are thinking about the same spoon.
Oh yeah. Oh,
yeah.
There we are.
Yeah. So it's a design. It'll be coming up. We may even demonstrate how we carve it, because I think there'll be a lot of interest in this one that we're referring to for how we carve it.
Oh, in that case, I can explain the other one I was thinking about. I can get that. I'll explain.
Now, another thing as well, you'll notice that we do when we design. Some people say, well, why don't you just do it, completely in a flat panel? The idea with it, you've got these gaps in the design. The reason for those gaps is because you've got light and shade. So that is, you get that contrast. If you have light and shade in your design, you've got contrast, it creates that interest. So again, you've got that design just like so, fold it over, mark out those lines, just like so. Here we are. And the other part, as I explained, the other element to this design is going to be a twist. And what you find as well with designing, you'll have sort of different bits that you find easier to do. We get some requests, very elaborate. One that we've been working on at the moment, ladies asked us to do.
We got that design up there, Dave, the 2001 spoon.
Okay.
That one, it's similar.
It's got like an impression of a pearl necklace, the one that
but
Dad's
it's the
referring to,
outside
around the outside.
The pearls, they, you know, that's, whereas these two, are, especially that one, it's a new idea, and it's great for us because we, you know, as you're drawing and you're developing. So,
are you happy with the amount of space? I'm going to ask Dad, because this is the thing, we're thinking of practical things. Are you happy with the amount of space just underneath there for scroll sawing?
I am.
Yeah, you're happy with that?
Yeah.
This one here, do you want me, we can bring that just down a little bit further?
Yeah.
Because what it is, I when I'm designing, you do, unfortunately, it's human nature, isn't it? You do sort of think a little bit selfishly, because I'm working out, right, is that okay for carving? But yeah, you do have to consider the person who's doing the cutting out, the scroll saw work as well, because if I'm just designing for the wood carver, but not thinking at all of the person who's going to be scroll sawing the design.
We're back to budget, you're thinking about the budget of the person.
Yeah.
And,
yeah, this one was an interesting one, because when originally they sent the request, I was just thinking, how on earth are we going to make the love spoon within the budget they had? But that's what happened, is there was a little misunderstanding of what they were actually asking for. Right, so you can see we've got these elements that we referred to in the design. And this is actually one of 3 designs that we're going to be sending them, because they actually want 3 love spoons. I referred to it. I thought they wanted 1 love spoon with 3 elements to it, but they actually want 3 love spoons, 3 separate love spoons to be displayed together. Nice idea. Now we're going to come in just for there, and let's have a look. What sort of size?
Push it up a little bit, Dave. If you can.
Are we going off the...
Just a touch.
You're losing me.
No,
apologies
okay.
for that.
You're okay.
We'll double check it. There we are. I've got if I am just going off the screen, yeah, if you can just tell me, because...
okay.
Right. You may notice that for some reason I always seem to have a little bit of a problem with wanting to go out wider initially with the bowl. But that's just something with the designing, it's easily corrected.
And with the design as well, I mean, if you remember, we have a slightly pointed...
Yes, some people will say, we're doing one at the moment, where somebody said, a couple of times people have asked us, can we have a more rounded bowl? Just comes down to personal preference, really. There's no right or wrong. And the nice thing is, you may notice with this, the reason we're sharing this is because you can make your designs, you can make them personal to yourself. You can use all of these simple principles and develop your own design, your own style.
Again, going back to craft teachers or technology teachers, if they get the students or the children to design their spoons, the children themselves can eventually put their own ideas. And it's a nice way of sometimes working things out, drawing.
Yeah, and as well, you may find that the children come back to you, and you may notice things in the design. You'll think, well, beautiful design, but when it comes to making that in words, it's not going to work. It's not going to be practical. So you can then point that out to them, and you're teaching them then how they can sort of make their designs, how they can make them more practical in wood. And that's, we always sort of go back to it. We're always thinking about what we do on YouTube as well. We're always thinking about our YouTube channel, and how do we offer you something that is going to be useful to them, and that's to everyone. Sorry. And that is what, that's the idea of doing a live stream like this based around designing, is to give you thoughts and ideas on how you can develop your own designs, and sort of different skills and things. So there we are. That's another design. Again, I would possibly, with this one here, I'm more concerned about this one than the last one that Dad was talking about, that we've got enough wood here. That's the area that we need strength. So when we come to cut it out, I want it more cut out around here and here.
Yeah.
We don't want to go too far in. We want plenty of strength on there.
What would probably make this one? I must confess, when you first started it and started a draw, I didn't think it was going to work out, but it isn't too bad. And the heart, excuse me, you can put initials now inside the heart, and if you had initials cut out like a fretwork, it would then make it quite sort of delicately, it would look a little bit more delicate then, more lace-like. Well,
Thomas Woodcar was saying it doesn't look too bad. I think that's a nice design. I'm happy with that. I think it's a nice design. I think it's nicely balanced. If you do me a favour, you can cut that one out.
Yeah.
So everybody can see. I think that's, yeah.
I don't want to give you too much credit, you see.
That's a nice job.
You know.
No. Right, so if I consult my list, okay, we've done that one, we've done the Maori one. We will do one more for you all to see. Now this is an interesting one, because what we got to do with this design, I got to do some my own drawing actually, because we've got to include a little house in it. So this is going to be interesting. Right, let's have a little look. Just check that we're okay there again.
And it's a house, dear, not a cottage.
It's not a cottage, that's right. So we're going to start off with our house. Now normally, I know we're going to have our door. We're going to have our door in the middle. We're going to have our door in the middle. And again, this is an impression. It's an impression. It doesn't, we're not sort of, we're not sort of claiming to be artists or anything like that. We're just doing an impression. The idea, they wanted a house with two up, you call it 2 up, 2 down, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
A 2 up, 2 down house. So, we got that like that, just like so. And then we're going to come along the top, just like that. And we put our roof on. And we notice what I tend to do is I start off with, I quite often, you'll notice with this, I quite often start at the top and work my way down through the design. Okay, so I'll just draw that bit of smoke coming out of the chimney, just like so. And another thing as well, with something like this, your designs, they evolve as they go on, because we've always had a problem with this bit of smoke coming out the chimney, because it's got a tendency to break. So what we're now doing, we've always left it loose, but it shows you how you learn as you're going along, because now what we're doing, we're actually leaving it attached, which makes it a lot stronger. So you're always learning, you've always got to be open-minded. Doesn't matter how long we've sort of been doing things, we're always open-minded to changing what we do and how we do it. Now Thomas Woodcarver's standing with an arm folded posture, so
No, you're doing okay.
Oh, we're doing okay. Yeah, that's high praise indeed.
Yeah.
Can you? I want now, as I'm working, a bit of inspiration. Have you got a house themed song for us? I can think of one. You're struggling there, are you? I put him on the spot now. He's not used to this. You got a house theme song?
I was thinking about the windmill in Amsterdam. I don't know.
Oh, that wasn't in my mind. So you can see what we've done to get that design again symmetrical. We've folded it over, so we've got a 2 up, 2 down house design. And this one, it's actually based and inspired on by the design that Dad did for Escape to the Country. So straight away, because we got those two windows, 2 up, 2 down, we've had to do the house. We've had to do it bigger than normal. Couple of reasons. It sort of makes it more practical. It makes it easier for carving, for making, that sort of thing. You know, because we've got to get those windows in the design. How are we looking so far?
It's good, because another thing that you have to consider is
Scissors. Yeah, brilliant.
your.
I'll give you the pencil to point.
Thank you. Very often with a design, you have to be careful that you don't make too much of a void.
Yeah. So yeah, one thing we do when we're designing, you'll see we got light and we got shade. So we like that contrast in our designs. But if you put too much light, if the gap is too big, then your eye goes to the gap as opposed to the actual carving. So that can really detract from a design if there are big gaps of light.
You're out of focus now, dear. So you need to show the people.
Yeah, they can see. They can see on there that we're talking about this one. What it is, I know what Dad's concerned of. I'm just quickly cutting out. I'm cutting out a heart quickly. That's all it is. So yeah, we cut that heart out. Now that heart,
You want sellotape?
if
now,
anything, we need to come a little bit bigger. We need to come a little bit bigger again. If I have a pencil back. Yeah, Dad would sort of, what he's referring to as well there is sticking that design down. But what I'm going to do, because I'm working from a design that he's already done and the person liked that design, I'm trying to remember what it actually looked like. So yeah, we're sort of working that out as we go along. Now what they want on the design, they want, let me just get this right, a G, a P and a 50, no, sorry, I'm looking at the wrong one, G and B and a G. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to design from the middle and I'm going to put a plus just in the middle, just like so. And we're going to, with these initials, we're going to cut them out. So they will be cut out. So the first thing we're working out, I think we probably started a little bit too far over there, but not to worry. So we'll do a line. And this is, especially when you're doing something like this, this is an area where quite often, I'll just make sure that, yeah, you can see, quite often I will end up drawing this a few times just to get it right, basically, because there's a few sort of, how can I explain, there's a few issues as you go along and you end up sort of drawing out the initials a few times over. So you can see it's coming over the top just like so. That one comes up like that. So these are going to be like the outlines of the initials. And this is the thing, you've got to remember, at the end of the day, I'm a wood carver and I'm not an artist, so we have to sort of work it out to the best of our abilities.
We can get, I know this sounds bad, but we can get away with that, Dave, because when you go back to the original Love Spoons, they were primitive then, you know. They
absolutely, yeah.
There wasn't a sort of a.
Well, yeah. I mean, they would do all sorts on early Love Spoons. Now, I know one thing. I'm looking at that, and I just want to move it across, possibly a little bit. Definitely,
they're simple designs. They are
definitely. This is irritating me at the moment. That needs to come across to there because we've lost a bit of symmetry. So we've got that plus. There we go. That one there again. I'm just a bit concerned we're going to lose our live view. So yeah, right. I'm still looking at that, and I still feel, and this is what happens. See, I still feel like I've got more, I felt like I had more of a gap here than I got a gap here.
Yeah, but if you draw the heart around...
Yeah, no, that's right. We've got another element to consider. So I just want to make this a little bit bigger. We just want to make that a bit bigger. I want to make that one there, the front of the P, I just want to close that gap a little bit. The concern now is the opposite, is that we're actually making the P too big. So you can see these are all things that we're sort of working out as we go. Now we're going to have a line. I can feel Thomas the Woodcarver's itching again to come in. Let's have a little look. Now I know I've got this other G to go into the design. Okay, so I'm thinking about that as well. So we've got that. I'm going to put a little heart just down there, and then from there we're going to work around like so. And this is what we do at the end of the day. This is basically this is really our day job, isn't it? This is what we do. Now I'm looking at that, and I want to come round because we want the strength. What it is, I've done it like that. I'm going to change this now. I'm going to change it as I go because I want more strength around the G. So I'm going to have to change it so that G is securely encased inside the surround, because we don't want an issue further down the line.
One of the things we get as well, Dave, when people ask us to, make a love spoon, it's not, if it's a wedding, engagement, an anniversary, whatever occasion is for, people don't always consider which initial to put first. So this is going to be controversial now. Which initial do you put first? Because society changes.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so it can be for the same. It can be from a parent to a daughter, or a parent to a son. And then you have to decide which initial
do you
to
put your child first, or do you put the in-law first?
Especially if somebody's asking one for a partner. Yeah. Then you have to consider, do you put your initial first or the partner's initial first? So these are little things that we
sort of think about.
It may sound trivial, but it's important
to consider it because
we're designing it,
and it's all part of telling that story. Now, a lot of people would look at this and they go, "Yeah, that's fine."
Yeah.
They'd think, "Yeah, great," but I'm not happy with it. And I'm thinking you're probably thinking the same thing, aren't you?
Yeah, you've got a real problem there. Because
I'm not happy. We haven't got enough strength holding those initials. So what we're going to do, we're going to redesign a little bit. And this is the thing, you've got to get these problems out. We see people, designing spoons. You have to look at your design, think about it. So I'm going to come up a little bit further, a bit higher up, like so, for our G. I'm going to come a bit higher up for the P. We don't have to change them a lot. We're just closing a little bit of the gap, just like so. And then when we come around here, we are dropping our surround. We're dropping our surround down, like so. And now I'm a lot happier.
Yeah.
I'm a lot happier because that G is now connected top and bottom. We're going to do the same as well with the P. So what we're doing, we're eliminating a potential problem as we go forward. That would have been a weakness. That would have been a clear weakness in the design. And so that's the idea. That's why we do the live streams. That's why we share what we do. So anybody who's making spoons, if you can avoid making these mistakes, and anybody who's looking at it going, oh, but it's easy for yourself. No, how do we know these things? These are all things that we've done ourselves. These are all things that we've had to learn ourselves, and that's the idea.
We're learning all the time.
Exactly.
I mean, some people don't even want initials; they just see it. They just either. Some people don't even want a heart on a love spoon, which it's such a variety of. It's a lovely subject. It's
now I think
something there for
back
everybody.
on this design. Now I think a little bit of light just above there. Okay. I think a little bit of light just above there, and then I'm hoping, because I'm thinking about Dad's original all the time, I'm hoping to come around, to just come around the top, like so. Might have to just come out a little bit further. And on the original that you designed, you had below here, you had an eternity sign. They don't want an eternity sign on this one. I'm looking at it as well, and I'm actually going to bring, I'm just going to bring this in a little, which, to be honest with you, is a good thing. There's two reasons that bringing that in is going to be a good thing. Firstly, we're closing the gap a bit, which is a good thing. So we're just closing the gap a little bit, and it's going to give us a little bit more. It's going to give us a little bit more wood here.
And your eye isn't going to go to the gap
as much
there.
Yeah. So we're getting rid of that. So all round, that's improving our design. And you imagine, designing. It's a sort of labour-intensive process, and
we often get drawings sent to us.
Yeah, and we can't use them because we have to change them to make them practical, to actually make them practical. What I'm also conscious as well, I think I'm not happy with that point. So you can, hopefully you're getting an idea of exactly how much goes into this process. This
and we're quite happy
simple,
for people to send designs to us.
Absolutely. So this seemingly simple principle, this seemingly simple process of designing, today I've got a total of 6 spoons to design. This is going to be the last one I'm going to do on the live stream, but it gives you an idea of just how much time goes into just the designing of a love spoon. Now on your original, I think you did a slightly more pointed top.
Maybe. The other thing as well, it's nice, people can design a spoon together.
Yeah, think of what's your story.
Yeah, you can
what
put
do you
your
want to
story
say
into it, and you can share then.
You can share your story. You can share your message.
Yeah.
You may notice basically this particular design, because I got it in my head what Dad designed originally, and that was what they liked. So far, every single line that I've drawn, I've actually, if you notice, I've rubbed it back out and done it again. But that's why they put rubbers on pencils. So, it's amazing how, as you're designing something, you keep changing, you keep adapting, and hopefully you keep improving. So there we are. I think now that gives us the top. That gives us the top of our design, just like so.
I've got one query.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Open it out.
Yeah.
My query is this.
Yeah.
Yes, you got light all around there.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah.
You got a bit of light there, but you're going to have to carve that heart shape.
Well, basically, I'm going to refer back to your original, and I'm going to, whatever we did on that original to finish it, we may come a bit further out, possibly, but whatever we did on that original, I think we'll apply to this design. Right, now this one, as I said, on the original, they had an eternity sign. On this one, they want a cross, We do a silhouetted candle inside a cross. And again, there's a message, there's a story behind it. It's the idea of God's love. You know, you've got that silhouette of a candle, and you ask people, well, you know, can you see the candle? And they say, well, yeah, you can see the candle, but there's no actual candle there. So it's an impression of sort of God's love, because we can all see the candle. We all know it's there, but
people say, well, I can't see God.
It isn't, is it? There is no silhouette there.
That's right.
Now, my only concern as well, I think with this design, we may have to come out a little bit further, because I'm thinking now, I think we may have to come out further with this heart.
Could you not put that back on there, though, Dave?
What's that now?
If you go back to there.
Yeah, my concern. I don't want this design.
Come around there, can't you?
Yeah, but I'm thinking of your original. So basically, I know on your original, we've got a shape.
I'm getting the original.
There we are. Dad's gone to look for the original now. We've got a shape, something like that.
Is that the original?
No. Oh. It's the one you did for Escape to the Country when we were.
Oh, I don't remember what that was.
Yeah. So this is the problem: is that I've got a photo in my head, and so I'm sort of thinking in that photo, and I'll probably go and look at the photo later and realise that I was thinking of something, you know, I had a different idea in my head completely to what it actually looked at. So you'll see we keep evolving the design as we continue in the process. So I'm gonna come further out, because we're getting more and more.
Couldn't you make the heart smaller rather than make that bigger, Dave?
I'm making the heart bigger because we've got to now, the surround has got to come out to here, okay? So we got to think that we're working, we got to come right the way around. See, there's going to be, on the original, the surround is coming out to something like this, okay? So that, we've got to meet up with that line. So that's the original you've designed.
Okay.
Okay? So we've got to meet up with that line. So I think what it is, we're thinking of two very, very different designs. So this design, we've got to bring that line to sort of meet somewhere out there. So we may have to change the inside line as well. But this is the process we go through. This is what the sort of the ideas that we have to consider, the things that we have to do to create a design that ultimately works. Let's have a look.
And at the moment, this one isn't working.
No, it's because it's just. No, but this is, you've just got to go through the process, and you'll get there. Right, so this one's going to have to come out a bit.
Because you're also making your design is for. We need 3 spoons. No, is this the same one?
No.
Okay.
Now this one. They basically, the background is we were on Escape to the Country, and you designed a spoon for a couple who've actually moved to Narberth, and the lady has seen that design, liked that design, and she sent me a bit of a rough screenshot of it. And this is what happens as well, is, as I said, that was designed a couple of years ago, and you change your design, you change your style and things like that as you go along. So I'm trying to design now in a slightly different style to what I would be doing myself. So the love spoon part comes down to I think it was something like that. Like that. And it's basically, if it doesn't work, technically it's not my fault, because the original wasn't my design. So no, it's basically, we just got to find a way of getting the design to work. You see, I always, and this is something that I always do. It's the most annoying thing of when I design stuff. I always end up designing. I always end up designing the bowl twice. Never get it right the first time. And that's on every single spoon that I do. I don't know why. You have to put it in the comments section. Anyone got any thoughts? Why do I always get it wrong the first time with the size and shape of the bowl? Yeah, there's a couple of things with this one then. If I was designing it now, see, I would change the shape altogether.
Yeah.
It's just my sort of approach then to it would be,
at the end of the day,
different.
it's the customer then.
It's the customers. That's absolutely it.
Are they happy with the drawing?
Yeah.
We've got to be happy with it.
We've got to be happy with making it from a practical point of view, but they've got to decide, are they happy with what we've designed? And if not, then we go back to the drawing boards, or they can find somebody who does it in a different way. And that's it. We've all got different styles. We've all got different ways of doing things. And you've just got to stick to your style and develop your style and develop how you do things as you go along.
And I think you have explained, they don't have to be symmetrical.
They don't. No. That's our style.
The only problem for us, because I'm a carpenter and joiner by trade, then I like things to be symmetrical.
Be symmetrical. That's right.
But you see such a variety of love spoons that there's something there for everybody.
Yeah, you see a number that is sort of asymmetrical. There's nothing wrong with that at all. That's just a different style, different approach. You can do that with the love spoon. It can cater. That's why we love the tradition. It can cater for all sorts of different styles. It can cater for all sorts of different tastes. There's something for everyone. It's very much a tradition that doesn't discriminate. There we are. Now, let's have a little look. Where are we up to there now? There we are. I don't think that's too far off, that.
Yeah, but if I can just point out something not right there, Dave, because that line isn't following.
No. What it is, I've worked off an old template. That's an adjustment. Very interesting, actually. I'll show that now. That's an adjustment that needs making on our template. Yeah. It's a problem that I've encountered a number of times before. Yeah. Can you see it?
Yeah.
So again, we're always changing.
Well, we've changed now how we transfer. How we do. We use the drawing now. We glue the drawing onto the wood, don't we? So it's a completely.
Going back to this as well. Now, personally, I want to change things here. It's just a personal thing, because I want it to be more. I want it to be more of a cross.
Right.
So I want to just come. I want to come across there. I just want it to be a little bit more of an accurate representation of the cross. I don't think it needs those bits at the top.
Okay.
And I want to come in about there.
Okay.
I don't know. What's your thoughts on that?
It's fine what you're doing. I like what you're doing there. What we have to consider again is the amount of light that we have in that space there.
Spot on. Absolutely. So what I want to do now, we're not going to be able to, I don't think we're going to be able to eliminate it completely.
No.
And it's one of those things, it is the nature of this design. But I'd like to sort of come in there and maybe maybe back around there.
But surely this outside line now has to follow.
We can pull that in. We can pull that in. We'll demonstrate both. We'll demonstrate it in both styles. So now we got rid of a lot of the gap. So we've reduced down a lot of the light. I like the shape. What Dad's referring to then is then bringing this in, bringing that in like so. Which I agree with him. That is how I would do that. I would also pull this in. Yeah. So I agree with Dad. However, I would pull this in here. I would do that myself as well. So we would pull that in there to give it a nice shape. I would also pull this in here.
Yeah, and what you're also doing, you've got to think about the spoon. You're making the initials, as almost the important thing.
Yeah,
so that's the focus then on.
But I think in this instance, if I was going to do this, and that's the thing, we're demonstrating you how we design. If we were doing this, let's demonstrate, what I would actually do here. I would actually bring this line in like this. I would bring this heart in more around here, and I would actually go in there. Okay, that would be more my sort of preference. And then I would pull this into here, and then this more into there. So we're reducing the light. Yeah. We're making the design a bit more narrow. Yeah. But I think this particular customer, I think that because they've seen this design, maybe. I think that is what they've seen, and that is probably best for us to stick with that one there. Also as well, I know on your original, I do remember it's more pointed, but I am going to change it and take that point off, because I don't think it adds anything to the design other than a little bit of extra length, and that's not helping us. So to finish off, what I'm going to do, I'll cut this out for you to see. Hopefully that's a useful insight. Designing takes up quite a bit of the time that we spend making love spoons. It's something that you have to consider, when you ask somebody to make a love spoon, and when you make a love spoon, you have to consider the time involved in designing it all. It's not a 2-minute job. It's not just, it's not like we've got, here's a basic template that we've got. We just throw the symbols into the template. There you go. There's your love spoon. No, you have to think about it. What's the story? What's the message? We consider things, designs with, for instance, designs that have got birds in. You're thinking the bird should be at the top of the design. If you're doing swans, for instance, swans are on the water. So if you put symbols below it, does that make any sense? It's constantly, sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. There we go. I'm quite happy with that, I'll be honest with you. I'm quite happy with that. We can work from there. I think we've got a design.
That's the other one that was cut out earlier.
There we are. So you can see, just this morning in that live stream, where's the other one? We've designed 3 love spoons there for you to see, all with different symbols, all different ideas, different styles. Hopefully it's useful, and hopefully it'll inspire somebody to have a go at designing their own spoons. Thank you for watching. Thank you for joining us. As always, we'll be back with more videos. Any comments? Anyone interested in the love spoon tradition? If you're struggling with designing or something, put it in the comments section. We're always delighted to help you out. Also as well, put it in the comments section, which is your favourite design, or none of them. There we are. Thanks again. All the best. Thank you.